All right, good afternoon, traders. Today is it's March 23rd, 2026. My name is Coach Carignan, lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you for being here. How I captured 1,200 today with a 54K account. Let's take a look at the market. Let's take a look at everything that happened. Coming into the close, we've got a 10-minute downtrend coming into the close. 2-hour chart shows us I'm going to call it a 2-hour uptrend. 2-hour uptrend coming into the close. Really, it's just bullish consolidation. Take a look at got an outside day with a higher high, a lower low. We're closing under a bearish trap, under the falling 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP, under the downtrend line. We are still bullish. We are still in a downtrend. Weekly chart, still in a downtrend and still bullish up here. Monthly chart, still bullish and still in an uptrend. Let's take a look at QQQ. All right, on QQQ, we've got on the 10-minute downtrend, a little 2-candle downtrend coming into the close. 2-hour is bullish consolidation or uptrend, whatever you want to call it. Daily chart is on the quad lines is an outside day, closing underneath a bearish trap, underneath the falling 17, underneath the all-time high anchored VWAP, underneath the uptrend line. It's still bullish, but we're in a downtrend on QQQ, and we are moving down. Let's take a look at FNGU. All right, FNGU on the daily candle got a outside day, closing under a bearish trap, under the 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP, under the midpoint, and we are closing inside the neutral area, but still in a downtrend. Let's take a look at IWM. Outside day, closing inside a bearish trap, under the falling 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP. Wow, they almost closed down here in the lower third. So, wow, that was close. Still bullish up here in the upper third, but definitely still in a downtrend on IWM. Let's take a look at Diamond Dow. Outside day, closing inside a bearish trap, under the falling 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP. Still bullish in the upper third, and still in a downtrend on Diamond Dow. Let's take a look at silver and gold. All right, silver put in a lower high, lower low, closing under a bearish trap, under the falling 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP. This is neutral and still in a downtrend. Let's take a look at gold. Gold lower high, lower low, closing under a bearish trap, under the falling 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP. Still bullish, still in a downtrend on gold. USO. USO outside day, higher high, lower low, closing under a bullish trap, over the rising 17, over the 4-year high anchored VWAP. Still up here in quadrant 4, it's bullish. It's still in an uptrend right there on USO. Let's take a look at UNG. Another outside day, higher high, lower low, closing underneath bearish trap, underneath the 17, underneath 12-month high anchored VWAP. Down here, quadrant 1, we're bearish, and we are now in a downtrend because we made lower lows. So we got some lows here, we made a lower low. So there's UNG. Take a look at technicals, T2101. Price moved up today, and we lost participation, showing me that, again, this is kind of a bearish signal. All right, let's take a look at T21.22. Well, we ripped our way out of the oversold zone, straight up here to the buyer's chop zone. We lost it, came back to the sell zone, made a double top here at the midpoint, and then ended the day in the seller's chop zone. So again, we're on the bearish side of the 50-yard line, mid-court. So bears still in control, showing control here, or possession of the price action, or dominance in the price action. So that's T21.22, T21.23. Still in a downtrend. We made, well, let's see, we're still making, did not make any lower lows, did not make any higher highs. So still just moving to the right in a bear flag underneath the falling 17. So that's bear flag down there. Still bearish, still in a downtrend on the 15. 3-bar chart is still bullish. Here's the origin of our April move, up, pull back, up to a new all-time high, pull back, and then rip to another new all-time high. So we're underneath the rising 200. That's bearish. Okay, and then we in the quadrant lines, we're up in quadrant 4, so that's bullish. And we're still in a downtrend because we're making lows right here and lower lows. So still in a downtrend, T21.23. Stinker on the 15. Stinker has a good day. Does he make a new higher high? We'll see. No cigar there. So no higher high. No lower low, but no higher high either. So still in a downtrend, still stuck underneath that fading 200 SMA. And if we pan way out, you can see I can drag this all the way over. You can see we're still down here in quadrant 1. That's bearish. And we're still in a downtrend because we have not made any higher highs. That's on FNGU on the 15-minute chart. All right, for trades today, the game plan was to trade the downtrend, probably close to 650 on the SPY. If there was a downtrend today, we were waiting for it. My plan was to wait for the 10-minute downtrend. We did get the 10-minute downtrend. This was the rubber band candle. It broke the rubber band candle. But after breaking the rubber band candle, it retraced all the way to VWAP. Did not break the bullish rubber band candle up here. My feelings are in the overnight session, we come all the way down here and visit the gap fill, which is probably close to 648.58. Where we open up tomorrow probably depends on news coming from the White House. We're stopping the ordinance dropping, or we're continuing it. I don't know. They're kind of flaky up there. Nobody knows what's going on. Still volatility is high. And the news continues to add to the volatility as we destroy more and more infrastructure in Iran. It's going to have less energy for the rest of the world. So, you gotta, I don't know what to say. You got to stop them some way, somehow. If they have energy to sell, well, that will fund their side of the war. If we knock it out, then that, either way, it's a lose-lose situation for both sides. So it will be a long-term win if we can get new regime in there. Well, actually, if we can get new regime, if new regime takes over the government and decides they want to pursue a more peaceful presence there in the Middle East, that would be the best outcome. And if it happened sooner than later, that would be even better. All right, that's all I can say right now. It'd be nice if the new regime stepped up, but I think the Iranian Republican Guard is still in control, just the same way that the bears are in control in our markets right here. China's giving credit to Iran and will get paid eventually in oil. Well, I mean, if I'm a general and that's the case, then I'm blowing up the oil. That's all there is to it. I'm shutting the whole thing down. That's what I'm doing, because all we're doing is we're just delaying the inevitable. The quicker we get this thing over with, the quicker they cry uncle. In my opinion, the faster we resolve and peace over there. So, I mean, let the ordinance fly, I guess. Not what I wanted to see, but I'd rather see them capitulate and say, well, that's it, you know? Yeah. I don't think they're the only ones that can do rare earth processing. They could probably do the only rare earth processing real cheap, all right? You know, but I don't think it's something we can't do. They do have some rare earth over there, but I think if we're shipping rare earth over there to get processed, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Well, I've seen us solve many problems before. And I'm saying, when there's a will, there's a way. Just give us time, and we'll figure it out. I know that, and I have complete faith in the American people to find a way. We'll see. You know, I mean, if they're gonna just, I mean, how does that work? Well, we're worried about the rare earth, but they're going to continue to supply arms over there to Iran, who is going to continue to fire upon the allied nations around us. So, I mean, it's just, yeah, I think we do. I think we can find ways. I mean, look what Elon Musk did in just, I don't know, a decade. Let's just call it a decade. You know, and I think when we put our hearts and minds to whatever we want to do, I think we can do anything. And I have no doubt that the Chinese people can do the same thing. But, I mean, if they're going to continue to supply them with bombs and weapons that only destroy American lives and American hardware, I don't think that that's... I mean, you're going to have to just scrap the rare earth program and find another way, because this isn't going to work like this. You know, I would not be, you know, tied behind my back with one arm because the rare earth is over there. I know we're going to need it, and I think we can find a way. There's no good answers, right? So that's the way it is. All right, traders, let's take a look at what I traded. I traded for the 10-minute downtrend. Of course, it didn't go far at all. I was waiting for it. While I was waiting for it, I took a 10-minute uptrend right through here up to these highs. So I got some calls and I got some puts, and I made some on each side today. And we'll go over here and take a peek at what I traded. And let's start with, okay, Fling, I didn't do anything with FLNG. Okay, still holding firm in my position with FLNG. IWM, my put in that, still holding firm with my IWM put. Got a SPY put, got a bull put debit spread. Okay, in other words, I didn't received a little bit of credit, all right, but all in all, if you add it up, it was a debit out of the account between the 2 long and the 1 short. Okay, so I traded, let me turn the trading on, because that's the first one I traded. So I bought to cover right here, took profit, shorted again, bought to cover, shorted again. All right, captured 546. Got 2 long puts, never touched them. Okay, got some 645 puts, 4 DTE, added those. When did I add those? I sold one here. Okay, so this is the short side of a bull put debit spread. So I sold one, captured the profit, and then resold it again right here at a higher price. This is the long side of the bull put debit spread. And you can see I bought it and I never touched it after that. 655 puts. I bought some in anticipation of price rolling over. And then it finally did, and I sold into strength. And then I did the same thing again to capture $53. Here's some puts, 650 puts. You can see we never got to 650, so I wound up taking a $115 hit on that. Got some 665 calls, never got to 665. Wound up taking a small hit on those. Had to get stopped out. Got some 660 calls. We did get to 660. All right, I made 444 on those. And that was on this trend back up to VWAP right through there. So that was 660 on those. 663 calls. Bought some of those. Sold into strength. Reloaded, sold into strength. Reloaded, sold into strength. Reloaded, sold into strength. Wound up between all the jockeying around. Wound up losing $7 on those. 661 calls, $55. I sold some short to cover one of these while price was just waffling. You see the waffle right here? You got the cavity where the syrup goes. Okay, just price was just waffling up and over VWAP right there today. So a lot of rebalancing today for dealers, all right, which kind of thought that might happen. So could see another down day tomorrow. We'll see. All right, puts, 654 puts, 200 on those. I sold them short and bought the cover right here. So I made $200 on those. I sold them short because I had a long position that was underwater. And while it was going underwater, I sold the puts right there. So there's that. That's it. That's all I made. 1,200 today. All right. Just trying to stay alive in this tough market. That's it. Just trying to stay alive. No edge today. There was no edge. We had the 10-minute downtrend that flaked out. You can see right here. Just did not want to do the follow through down the gap fill. So probably goes down to gap fill in the overnight session right there. All right, that's it for me for today. I will see you all tomorrow. I may be late tomorrow. I do have a doctor's appointment at 8:20, so I will be in at 9 to more than likely by 9:10, 9:15 to open up the markets with you. So, but I will have everything posted here in the chat. So I'll see everybody tomorrow morning.